Hey guys, welcome back to Breaking Bap Podcast. So today we have an announcement for you guys. It's actually going to be our last episode this season.
That's right. So we've learned a lot through this process. We've done podcasting, we've done more TV type, long form content. And we decided that it was time for us to kind of step back and review what we learned, because this is a first time for both of us, so that we can come back season 2 much stronger. And also, life happens.
Yep.
It's been so hectic on my end, on his end. So it's just time to take a little breather.
Regroup.
And that is totally okay. And this leads us to our topic today, which is the topic of failure. Not that this is a failure.
I don't think we failed.
To be clear,
Yeah.
to be clear, we do not consider this experience to be a failure, but it is worth kind of talking about. So before we do that, James will do what he does best and introduce you to our spread today.
So today we're doing healthy Korean snacks, or Korean snacks that Koreans deem healthier. So today we got healthy Korean snacks. Over here we have Korean style popcorn called gangnengi. This is 뻥튀기, which is a Korean rice puff snack. This is 쌀과자, which is Korean rice crackers. These are Korean style cognac jellies that have 0 calories. And this is a watermelon popsicle. All right, so before it melts, we should start off with the watermelon ice cream.
I wasn't aware that this was considered healthy.
I mean, every time we would go to the 편의점 or the Korean convenience stores with my friends, everyone would say this is the most low-calorie ice cream option.
90 calories for this whole thing.
Yeah, it's pretty low, right?
What's it made of?
It's more of like a slushie. It's really refreshing. It's good, right?
It's kind of yogurty.
It's yogurty, not too sweet. I wish it was a little bit more acidic, but I like it.
Oh my god, there's like seeds in here, but it's like chocolate?
I don't know. Yeah, they're like chocolate, little mini chocolate bits, I think. Good, right?
I haven't had this in so long.
Yeah.
It's so good.
It's 90 calories.
And it's so cute to look at. Okay, well, this will be my mic today. So,
Henna.
the topic of failure. This is kind of a weird one to start. Like, how do you start talking about failure?
Why don't we just go right to it, and maybe I'll ask you first.
Okay.
What do you think has been your biggest failure to date?
Easy.
Easy.
Yeah,
Okay.
that for me is easy. Definitely when I left my job as a lawyer.
Failure to yourself or failure to the people around you?
Everyone, everything. I, grew up Asian in an Asian household, and I was taught failing is quitting. Like, quitting is failing. And basically, if you quit things too easily, you'll never really amount to anything. You're never going to develop your character. So my mom would enroll me in all these extracurricular activities after school, and no matter how much I hated it, no matter how much I wasn't excelling in it and it wasn't for me, she would force me to finish it to the very, very end. And to some extent, I'm really grateful that that developed this resiliency in me, but it also gave me a lot of anxiety about finishing what I started, which is why it pains me to think
not
about
finish?
Yeah, to even us taking a break.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that my initial reaction to that
Yeah.
is, oh my goodness, maybe we shouldn't do that. But I've learned from leaving my job as a lawyer. I left in order to pursue happiness and to take care of myself. And if I hadn't left, my life would probably be in shambles right now. And so it really taught me that it is okay to quit things, especially when you know it's not for you.
Yeah.
You know it's not serving you anymore and it's doing more harm than good. It's not really quitting, it's pivoting, finding something new. But I do still struggle with that. I still, because as a content creator, I feel like the work that I do right now is not nearly as hard or real or meaningful as the work I was doing as a lawyer. So sometimes I do beat myself up for it because I feel like a quitter,
Yeah.
Especially when I talk to other lawyers and they're really struggling through it, and I'm just like, oh, I quit. I just
Can I
feel
be
kinda,
honest with you though? The
Yeah.
way you're making it seem, I think objectively, you're telling yourself that it was failure, but in your heart, because you're so much happier, you don't feel like it's a failure. So
Yeah.
that's why when I'm curious as to why you think it's a big failure, because I genuinely feel like in your heart, you don't feel like it's a failure.
Yeah, like I've found success doing what I do now. I think it does have something to do with the fact that, you know, some of my relatives in Korea don't even know that I quit. There's like, you know, it's a big
your
secret.
grandparents.
Yeah, it's like a big secret because when I became a lawyer, everyone around me was so happy, right? And then when I quit, it just felt like I was really letting them down. And as an Asian person, you kind of like grow up thinking that like the more pain, like no pain, no gain, that kind of thing.
Totally.
So
That
I feel
I
like,
totally resonate
yeah,
with.
that's why now that I'm in less pain, I'm like, is there less gain? You know? But that's how I feel. How about you? What do you consider to be one of your life's greatest failures?
Honestly, I'm gonna go back to like my childhood because I genuinely feel like everything stems from childhood. And I never realized this until the past couple years. But this is gonna come across really like I had a really sad childhood, but I had a really amazing childhood. Like my parents really set me up for success or like where I am today. But because there were such high expectations, I feel like my tolerance for failure was really high because I never felt like I had reached enough. So I constantly felt like a failure. Like
Oh,
I
I
needed
see.
to. So I have like a really, you know, when people say I have a high pain tolerance for failure, like I just don't see a lot of any failures in my life because I don't know. I just feel like that's normal. Like you know what I mean? My tolerance for like I don't associate it with like not with sadness.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
I don't think you need to
Yeah.
be sad about it, but like, has there been anything in your life that you tried that didn't work out?
So many.
Like what?
My whole so many.
He's like choking.
Yeah. Like did I think I would be married and have kids by now? Yes, I definitely thought like when I was a kid that I would have had a family right now. I thought I would be like a young dad, for example. I would say maybe in like the compartments of like financial stability, career, relationships, like and family relationships or whatever. I would say my biggest failure is romantic relationships right now, in my opinion. I think that's where I'm failing.
Okay.
But to be honest, like if I really, really wanted it and that was like my goal, I would work harder at it, right? Does that come across like cocky?
No, not at
Yeah.
all. It's like you know yourself very well.
Yeah, like if it was a real like big priority and like
Yeah.
I felt like I was failing at that, then I would put more time and emphasis on it, right?
Right. Like it's not something that you absolutely prioritize. I think
Yeah.
that's okay because for me too, I didn't, well, it came to a point in my lawyer career where I stopped prioritizing money, stability, status.
Yeah.
And I was like, my health is so bad and I needed to prioritize that. And so in order to do that, I did have to leave that job and I did have to pursue something else. And I think as your priorities change in life, of course you're going to fail at things because you're not going to try as hard or they just don't mean that much to you anymore. I think that's totally normal.
Yeah.
But I'm curious though, as a content creator, we're both full-time content creators. Do you consider yourself successful? Because the
Honestly,
opposite
no.
of failure is success, right?
Honestly, no. I don't feel successful
You don't
as
feel
a creator.
success-
But I think objectively, we're successful. We're full-time content creators, and it's such a privilege to be one and to be able to sustain being a creator. And yeah, there's a lot of like ups and downs, but net, we chose to do this, right? But in my eyes, do I feel like I've reached success? Absolutely not.
So
Do you?
what's no. To be honest, I feel like I struggle with feeling like a failure every day. Partly because I still haven't fully accepted that I'm not a lawyer anymore. This is what I'm doing now. But also just every day, I just feel like there's always more I could be doing. And I feel like in that way, I'm kind of failing myself by not doing those things. You know what I mean? I could be making more content. I could be making better content. I could be networking more,
Yeah.
this and that. But
I feel the exact same way.
yeah.
Yeah, I feel, which is why, like, I feel like if we were truly successful as creators, we would have the ultimate flexibility and the ultimate freedom, right? And I feel like,
And our bank accounts would be like,
Yeah.
You know?
But then again, a part of me is like, is freedom really success, right?
Again, it just depends on your
Yeah.
priorities. But, I'm curious, other than romantically, because you said you feel like a failure in your romantic life.
Yeah.
Has there been any other like project or experience in your life that you failed at, that you learned something that you carry with you to this day?
Honestly, I have justified every decision in my life for me to not feel like that was a failure. And I think that it goes back to like my tolerance for failure, right? I just feel like I don't see it. I just feel like it's always like a learning opportunity, and if I didn't fail, I didn't try. That's genuinely how I feel.
Right. So what did you learn?
Like, for example, like not being an accountant, right? Like I gave that up really early, to be honest, right? I think it might have been failure in my parents' eyes. They probably wanted me to be a CFO. But for me, I'm like, okay, that doesn't provide me the freedom, which is a priority of mine and which I consider success, right? Yeah.
So you never felt like a failure for leaving accounting? When all of your friends were like right at the cusp of like starting their careers
You know what?
and this and that.
You know what? Okay, I'm gonna get personal with you guys. The one time I did feel a little bit like self-conscious, actually very self-conscious. So a lot of my peers, because I went to business school and similar to law school, like a lot of them follow the trajectory and are like directors, senior directors, like making tons, right? And right now I'm just like starting from the bottom and really starting off my career
Yeah.
again. And I was around all of them. It was basically kind of like a reunion in March.
This
And
year?
yeah. And I felt like I didn't come prepared. I was like, whoa, I don't have a narrative,
Yeah.
right? And that was kind
yeah.
of,
The fact that you feel like you needed one.
yes, and I did feel like I needed a narrative.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I realized like they were all my friends, so they didn't really care. But that's when I felt insecure. And I did have that ounce of like, oh damn, like I really didn't succeed yet. Whereas
Right.
like I felt like I was around a bunch of successful people.
Right. I totally know how you feel. Like a lot of my friends are, at that life stage where they've put in the work and now they're financially somewhat comfortable, well into serious relationships, getting married, buying houses.
Yeah. But do you care about that?
I do.
Oh, you do?
I do care about it.
Because you could get that.
Well, I feel like I'm slowly on my way to getting that, but it's been a slow journey for me, and a part of it feels like kind of punishment for failing at law and putting myself all the way back at ground zero. Like you said, like we're really starting from zero. Content creation isn't like, I mean, yeah, there's a course you can take, but really there's no course you can take. You don't go to school for it. Like you have to figure out everything on your own.
Yeah.
And even the financial part of it, like no one really coaches you through it, right? Unless you have other content creator friends.
Yeah.
But it's like it's actually it's tough to start from nothing, and then you think back and you're like, wow, like what would have happened if I just stayed
Yeah.
in that stable life? But it wasn't mentally
What do you think
stable.
makes you feel the most like a failure? Do you think it's the people around you, your parents, or yourself? You're just hard on yourself.
I think I'm just hard on myself. Well, it's funny. My parents were really hard on me growing up, but now they're like, okay, why are you so hard on yourself? And I'm like, I wonder why. You know what I mean? They're like, breathe, relax. Like, no one's telling you that you need to do this or that. But I'm like, my inner child voice is like telling me that I'm constantly a failure. So I think it is me, but it is definitely because of my childhood.
Yeah.
My friends never make me feel that way.
Do they think you've made it or like are so successful?
My friends think that like, I mean, they know that I'm not like successful in the sense where I'm like rich and famous,
Yeah.
but they think that I've been told that they think I'm successful at doing something what most people can't do, which is take a big risk and have it kind of work out. You know what I mean? Like it is hard to get to like where we are as creators, and I think we should give ourselves credit for that. But yeah, like I don't know. I think there's a part of me that because I keep comparing this job to my old job,
Yeah.
that no matter how much success I attain doing this job, because I feel like a failure, I don't really like take it that seriously. Like I don't acknowledge what I do now as real work or like, yeah, work that's like worth it or you know what I mean? Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like people just have so many different interpretations of failure, right? Like for me, it's not really a financial goal for me. Like it's not.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like but that's a very privileged mindset, and I acknowledge that. You know what I mean? Yeah, like failure for me is like not, like is feeling regretful in the future. Like I never want to feel any sort of regret, and I think that is what's gonna make me feel like a failure. So I always like kind of like think to the future. Like when I'm 40, what am I gonna regret the most?
Yeah.
And that's why I'm always thinking like that.
Yeah.
Is it me not traveling or is it me not having this financial freedom? And I think money, like I have the confidence that it's gonna come one day, you know what I mean? But I think finding the passion to do so, like I'm looking for something that doesn't feel like work to me, that feels like work to other people. And I feel like that's where financial freedom really will come through.
Right. So in the future, what's something that like you would look back on and be like, yeah, that
I would feel like a failure.
Yeah. Like
I think not having a partner to share my life with.
guys, James is really, really concerned about his love life. Oh my
No, but
goodness.
I'm really not. That's a thing. Like, I don't really care in the next 5 years. Like, I could be single for 5 years and I'd be so happy. Like, I'd be traveling, whatever. Like, I don't know. Even spending time with my parents. I genuinely love spending time with my parents. Like, I'm living at home right now, and I'm never gonna regret this.
Yeah.
Like, if you asked me 5 years ago, I would be so embarrassed. I'd be like, oh my gosh, like I can't, like no way. Like I literally moved out of the house as soon as I could.
Yeah.
After like university, but now, like I'm loving it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. That too, like, because I also live with my parents like throughout the year, and it's amazing. Like, it's so nice to just not have to worry about like fending for myself. But sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like 30 and I'm living with my parents.
Do you think that makes you feel like a failure living with your parents?
Yeah, like when I go to my friends' places and
Yeah.
they like have a house.
But you had that. You used to live alone, no?
Well, yeah, but I didn't. They like it was like renting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like now when I go to my friends' places and they're like real adults and like, you know, they have their own places with their partners and like everything, and then I'm like, wow, like I'm a baby compared to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that definitely I do kind of feel like a failure. Also, not being able to like help out my parents more at this age. I feel like had I been making a stable income, I could have, of course, like helped them out with their stuff now. But because I'm just, you know, still starting out, like there's nothing I can do. And then I'm like, okay, like I'm a failure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think on the flip side, though, I don't think your parents would want to feel like they're burdening you.
Of course not.
You know what I mean?
Of course not.
Yeah.
That's why I know that this doom gloom concept of failure is something I'm doing to myself. But it's because of the way I was raised, you know, not to blame my parents or anything, but like when you grow up with really high expectations on you, yeah, like of course when you never feel like a success, I feel like you always feel like a failure. And I can't even celebrate my successes now. So no duh, I feel like a failure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know what? I feel like a failure every day because I've never felt like I've succeeded.
That's what I mean.
I've never felt like that way, but I've never felt like a failure. I've never been like down on myself.
Yeah, because we're working towards something.
Yeah.
Yeah, but imagine you didn't have this.
Yeah. What do you mean?
Like imagine you didn't have content creation and you
I
were
was just
living at home kind of like
Yeah.
trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
That would be really rough.
I would have to do something where to justify why I'm doing that. Like I better be in the best shape of my life or something. Like I better be working out like 6 hours a day or like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like something must be net better than what I like if I, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In that situation.
I feel like my brother, Ricky, feels that way. Sorry, I'm going to talk about you. Is that okay? Okay. I feel like Ricky really is struggling right now with feeling like a failure because he was supposed to graduate university this year but he didn't because of some unforeseen circumstances. And so he is kind of like waiting to finish school. And then on top of that, like he has never really worked throughout university because of course like our Asian parents are like
Totally.
just focus on
Just
school.
focus on school. Yeah. That's a very Korean thing also, by the way.
But then also during COVID, like he never really got to go out and make friends and develop soft skills. So he's really just kind of rotting at home. And I feel like he's been really struggling with feeling like a failure.
Objectively speaking though, because I know Ricky, I genuinely don't see that in him. Like I just see so much like potential and like youth and like opportunity.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if I like when I see Ricky, like I'm genuinely like so excited. I'm like,
His jaws dropped.
yeah, I'm like I like pounce and be like, okay, like I need to like talk to you. I mean, like, there's so much going for you.
That's
like,
why I think it's interesting.
Yeah.
When I think about how I feel like a failure, and I think about how Ricky feels like he's a failure, and how I see Ricky, same thing as you.
Yeah.
If he had no potential and he was really just rotting at home like a freaking potato, like of course I wouldn't care. I mean, as my brother, I would always care, but I think I don't see his stage in life as a failure. It's more so like, how can you fail when you haven't even started? You know what I mean?
But that's also you being a good Nuna. Because I
thank
feel like you always, I think it is the responsibility of Nuna to put your brother, or like I have my sister, she always puts me in check, puts me in line. She's like, you know what I mean? And like she like really guided me through life.
Yeah.
And I think honestly, a big reason why I didn't fail in life is because I did have an older sister.
Yeah, there's no way that I'm letting my brother fail.
Yeah,
whatever
she
that
just
means.
set all the. She was like, "You're playing this instrument in high school. You're gonna do this. You're playing this sport. You're gonna apply for student council." Like I remember I was in grade 9, and I was like, I don't want to. Like I was also didn't go to a feeder school, so I had no friends. So like literally, but everyone else from the middle school went to the same high school. And my sister was like, "You're gonna apply for student council," and I'm like, "No way!" And like I did it because my sister like forced me to do it. But all this to say, like it really did set me up for success.
Literally, the last week I've been driving my brother around so he can drop off his resumes. I've been like literally Googling all the restaurants and like forcing him to go. He's been like pooping his pants, like because he's so shy. But like, it needs to be done. You know what I mean? So that is all to say, like, Ricky, I hope you feel like you're not a failure because you, again, like I said, you haven't even started.
Yeah.
You know, same with us. Like our lives are just kind of getting started. Our real lives.
I genuinely feel, I always say that, and then because we're content creators and we hang out with like a lot of young people that are like late 90s, I'm like, yeah, I feel like I'm just starting my life. I feel so young. And they're like, oh my God, James, you're so old. Like, that's what old people say.
No, I know, but that's so true though, because the life I was living before, that was not my life. That was not the life that I was intended to live. That was like the prologue, you know? And now this is where real life begins. So, I mean, sure, I'll probably come across a lot of obstacles and fail quite a few of them. But, you know, like, at least I can know, like, be comfortable knowing, yeah, like, I haven't failed. It's just all, you know, part of the process.
Where I have to go back to it. Like, when I do feel like a failure is when I'm in a room full of, like, really young people and I'm like, whoa, like, what am I doing?
Yeah, I know.
What am I doing
here? That too.
I'm just like, I'm in the wrong place.
I know. You feel that way with people that are older than you and people that are younger than you, for sure.
Yeah, I don't know why age makes a difference. Well, why do you think that's the case?
Age?
Yeah.
Because, like, I mean, like, time isn't real. Like, you know, there aren't certain stages you have to hit at a certain age, but to an extent there is, you know? Like, and plus content creation is such a Gen Z dominated space that your colleagues or like the people that you work with and stuff, them being like 20 years old, you're like, wow, you and I are on the same. And sometimes these 20-year-olds are making so much more money than you.
Yeah. I think it's just like that feeling of not belonging is when you feel like a failure. And sometimes I don't feel like I belong.
That's so
based
true.
on age.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's probably because we're also Korean. Like age is so important to us.
Yeah.
I don't think it matters as much to some people, but I do find myself like checking.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like relative to that person's age, am I making more money? Like, am I, you know, and most of the time it's not because like I said, we're both getting started and yeah, content creation is just like such a unpredictable space. But
So is success money for you?
I think a big part of it, unfortunately, is now. But I can only say that now because I'm okay now. Like, I'm happy now. And now that I've prioritized my health and I've accomplished that, now it's time for me to, get my bag.
Make coin.
Yeah, now it's time to focus on the things, because even if I wanted to focus on making
And
money.
I see that for you. Like right now, you're just on that trajectory. I'm not even just saying that. Like as a friend, like you are. I like it's just so obvious to me.
Oh, that's really nice.
No, seriously.
It's so weird when other people believe in you more than you believe in yourself.
No, you're actually an influencer. Like you actually influence people.
Yeah, so do you though.
No, but I don't know. Continue your thought.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like I said, like no one will ever see you as much of a failure as you see yourself.
Totally.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree more.
So.
And no one cares about you as much as you.
Yeah,
think.
seriously.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, I'm learning to kind of get over myself in that sense, because like. I started
Honestly,
that.
Get over yourself.
I know, I'm trying.
No one cares.
I'm really trying. Like, how I started that 30-day challenge?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I called it quits on that today.
Oh yeah.
I called it quits on that today. So basically, for context, I started a 30-day challenge where I was going to post a very insightful video every single day for 30 days leading up to me turning 30. And those videos were supposed to kind of help me come to terms with aging and help other people with like life advice and stuff. But like, fuck that. It was so overwhelming. And the little voice in my head was like, if you quit now, like everyone's gonna laugh at you. Like, it's so embarrassing. Like you told the internet that you were gonna do something and now you're not even following through. Like, I really struggled with that. I was really depressed last week. Like, I barely could make any content because I was so petrified by my own fear of failing and quitting.
Like disappointing other people?
Yeah, like and kind of just myself, like kind of like, yeah, when you tell yourself I'm gonna lose X amount of pounds in X amount of time and you just don't, and you're like, wow, I suck. That it was just disappointing for me, and also just like embarrassing because everything was on the internet. Like I told people I was gonna do something and I didn't do it, so that was kind of tough. But I learned from that recently that quitting is not. Failing is not quitting. Quitting is not failing.
Absolutely not.
And like you kind of need to know when to call it quits.
Totally.
Or else,
I think that's like a very rational thing to do.
It is. Or else you're literally just ramming your head against a wall for like no reason.
I feel like that is failure. Just doing the same thing over and over again.
Good point. Oh my God, that is a very good point.
No, like that is, you're not pivoting. You're not being productive. You're not
learning.
Like, you're not learning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a really good point. That is, I agree with you.
Yeah, no, I totally.
Failing is doing the same thing over and over again. Just because you feel like you have to, or like whatever the reason
Feeling stuck for me, is the biggest failure.
Oh my gosh. My mind is kind of blown.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. You know what? That made me feel a lot better, actually.
No, honestly, it's like a productive thing for you to do. Like, now you can allocate your energy, your resources, your time into something that like actually will help you succeed in a way that you want to be successful in.
That being said, we should talk about the podcast.
Okay.
Yeah, because
what do you want to talk about?
No, because you're right. I think failing would be to continue something that's not working. And in full transparency, like doing this podcast, what has not been working is like the time commitment for us as two very busy people to make this work. Also with Ricky editing constantly, short clips, the long form stuff.
Yeah.
And also like the engagement has been great on our short form channels, but like long form, we still have a lot to learn. But I think it would be stupid of us to, like you said, just like keep, like doing what we're doing without trying to be better.
Yeah.
Without trying to pivot, try something new. So that's what this is about. Yeah, totally. That's what the whole last episode thing is about. And I think it'll be really good for us.
No, and I think like it's important to take time and to like reflect. Yeah, like if you're just kind of like riding your bike, you're kind of like riding to a bike to like no destination. You know what I mean? Like it's I think it's important to know like where your goals are. And right now I think we did have a goal. We are pivoting our goal at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
Oh, are you having one of these cognac jellies?
Yeah, I actually, sorry, so I got distracted.
No, 100%.
I love these. These are my favorite.
Really?
Okay, I know because like, it's not because it's 0 cal. I just really like
But it's a factor.
I love that
must be.
it kind of, because my favorite drink when I take baths or something is to put this in like a thing of sparkling water.
Oh.
It's so refreshing.
Is it like grass jelly?
Kinda. I just
Okay.
make my own like fun bubbly drink.
Okay.
But it's really refreshing.
Do you want yuzu or do you want that flavor?
Peach.
You want peach? Okay. I'm gonna try yuzu.
How is this no calorie though?
Because it's cognac jelly and I'm pretty sure it's aspartame, which has 0 calories.
Oh, aspartame's not good for you.
I don't think so. I mean, okay, so these aren't healthy, but they're healthier versions. Oh, are you okay? Oh, I don't have napkins.
It's okay.
Should
I just
quickly-
wanted to show them what it looked like, but it's okay.
Just put it, I have a black t-shirt.
No, that's okay. That's so sweet. No,
Okay.
it's okay.
Okay. All right. How's that cognac jelly?
I love it. It's so
I
fun to
dummied
chew.
mine so quick.
I know. What the heck? You like sucked it dry.
Yeah, I did.
Oh my god.
Okay, wait. So in terms of like this week, would you say that you failed at anything, or is there anything that's top of mind where Because I feel like failure, like, it happens on a daily basis, right?
That's why I struggle with this because I feel like there's so many things. So I'm gonna think about that. But how about you?
My failures of the week.
Yeah.
Something. Okay, when I feel like I fail when I do something that's like I didn't achieve. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So for example, actually no, that's obvious. But for example, I usually do like a 30-minute workout every day.
Oh.
And I didn't do it. I was just feeling really lazy. So I felt like something was wrong with me. I was just like, something mentally is not there because I'm not pushing myself. Like, even no matter how tired I am, I always do a 30-minute run. Like, there's no way I'm not going to do it, rain or shine. But I couldn't get myself to do it.
Why? What happened?
I honestly don't know. But then because like the track record or like those variables or like those data points aren't like daily, now I'm like, oh, like I failed. I didn't work out every day. You know what I mean?
Oh. Okay.
But like I don't genuinely feel like I failed myself. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
So does that count as a failure then?
Yeah,
don't feel
I
like
think so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
'cause it's just,
technically,
like, not,
sure.
not
Yeah,
doing
feel...
what you like should have done. It's kind of like your 30-day challenge, right? It's
Right.
like not doing what you should have done.
Right. Well, yeah, true. Are you like okay with it though?
I'm okay with it.
Yeah. You can live with yourself.
I can live with myself. Like I can
one
justify.
day?
Honestly, like I justify my life. I'm just like, yeah, I deserve a break. No.
Yeah, it is.
yeah,
It's
just
true.
give a break.
It's true. I think James
on.
is so good at like self-regulating. Like he's so good at
so many coping
self-soothing.
mechanisms.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you literally your ability to just justify everything is what keeps you so optimistic though. That's good. That's really great. That's a good. No, seriously, that's a
I'm
really
sweating.
great. Everybody's sweating. It's a really great quality to have, and I think
Yeah.
if everybody started looking at their lives that way, yeah, people would put less emphasis on needing to be perfect, right?
And I've tied this back biblically before, and I just feel like because I think it would be so easy to feel anxious in a lot of the situations that I'm in.
Yeah.
And my coping mechanism has honestly been like faith. Like
Right.
it's honestly just been like my coping mechanism. And that's why I don't feel as anxious. You know what I mean? Because I have like someone to talk to about it.
Oh, I see.
And just like knowing that it's okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's really hard to explain.
No, I mean, faith is hard to explain.
Faith is very hard to explain, and I think everyone has a different relationship with
Yeah.
religion.
Yeah.
But it's just my personal. Like, am I like the best Christian in the world? Absolutely not. Like, I'm the most sinful human being ever. You know what I mean? But I know that.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think
Yeah.
about like what you know what? Okay, so the other day I went to an influencer event, and it's my first event in a really long time.
Do you mind if I ask which one?
Should I
The
say?
beauty event, or
No,
just say like what kind of industry?
It was a food and beverage.
Okay.
Okay. And to be honest, it was my first influencer event in a really long time because I've been having like social anxiety, especially at these events. Like seeing friends is okay, but like I don't know. I don't know. I'm just going through something weird. I've been canceling on like all these influencer events. It's so bad. I feel like such a bad influencer because going to these events is like work, right? You're supposed to go, show face, smile, make friends, network. But I just like can't bring myself to do it for some reason. But anyway, so I went to one the other day and I told myself, I was like, I'm gonna make it a goal to like talk to at least 3 people.
People or brand reps or influencers?
Just in general, like 3 human beings. And I went and I just like, I couldn't do it. I don't know why. I mean, the event was kind of awkward, to be honest. It wasn't a very well-planned event. But it just, like, I like froze. I just like couldn't even, like the brand reps were like smiling at me. And I knew in my head, I was like, I have to go say hi. Like I have to do the whole thing.
Yeah.
But I just like couldn't do it. And so I left the event early and I went home and I felt like such a failure. And like I still kind of am struggling with that right now. I don't know what's going on, but yeah, like I don't know. I know the answer
Is it because you were intimidated by approaching these people?
No. I just feel, I don't know. I feel kind of like I just don't really totally belong in those spaces right now. And I also kind of feel like every conversation I'm bound to have is going to be disingenuous anyways. So it just like makes me not want to do it. But there's also just like when people ask me like, you know, like what's your content about, or like how are you, like how's it being an influencer? Like I don't know what to say lately. I don't know. There's just a lot of stuff that I'm struggling with, I guess, personally. So yeah, I don't know. I the answer is I need to just get over myself and keep going to these events and do the work, because it is work, but it's tough.
Yeah. I think also like creators, it could get competitive, right? So I think a lot of the times like a question that I like don't like when people ask like, oh, what are you going to do with your platform? And I'm like,
what do you mean?
It's like, exactly, what do you mean? They're like, oh, you're going to do like a business, or like what, you know what I mean?
Oh,
Like it makes you feel like
you're not doing enough.
You're not doing enough, or like what you're doing is like not worth it, or like why would you do it?
Yeah, like it's not okay to just make content anymore.
Yeah, it's like when, you know, when I don't know, like on TikTok, like when people are like are friends with someone, I've like seen trends where it's like, oh, like why do you like try so hard in front? Like, you know what I mean? They're not like a girl's girl, or like, you know what I mean? Not really looking out for your back. I just feel like sometimes content creation can be like that, because you know we all want the same brand deals, right? So yeah, and it could be a toxic environment.
It's hard, like even with, I think I struggle more with talking to brand reps. And people from the brand side, because I know that in order to stand out to get jobs, you have to be like remarkable, like you have to be memorable. But doesn't that feel so like icky sometimes? Like, I don't know. You're really good at this. Like James is an excellent networker. He never feels really out of place. Like he's fine. But I don't know. Like sometimes I just feel like talking to them, I can't really just be myself. Like I have to
show face.
I have to be convincing enough for them to like me, to hand me a job. And that's what I don't like. Like I like making content. Maybe this is lazy. I don't know. I just really enjoy making the content that I enjoy, that resonates with my audience. And if like that happens to fall into the lap of like a brand that's like, I resonate with this, or like, you know, that's great. Like, let's work together. That's totally fine. But just like going to talk to people about like, I would love to work with you when you've barely used the product, or when.
But those brand reps are actually your fans. Like they actually do want to work with you. You know what I mean? So they're actually like, you're not actually being fake. They actually brought you to that event because they genuinely like you as a creator and like want to get to know you.
That's
and they want to give you the job.
Yeah,
you know?
that's a good way to think about it. It's just I don't know. It's just been really tough for me lately. Yeah, I don't know.
I totally get that. It's so hard.
Yeah, so that's what I've been dealing with this week, and so I have another event on Monday, and I'm determined to go and just try to like relax and be myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how I'm processing this failure. Is more like, okay, this clearly I feel a certain type of way about something. I need to process it. I need to get over it.
Yeah.
I need to think about it differently and try again. And I think that's just how I'm gonna approach it.
Yeah. One thing that I'm actually really proud of both of us is, you know, we actually like offline, me and Henna were talking about like the struggles of engagement lately and like our views, and, you know, like my views have not been great. And I know you were talking about how hard it's been as well on your end. And like, just even getting up to post again, like we've built that tolerance of like, honestly, every time I don't have good views on a video, yeah, like it sucks. And I do feel like a failure actually. I think that's when I do feel like, oh damn, like I didn't reach what I should have, right?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
But like we've built that tolerance. Like I failed like literally on content, posting a video over 100 times. I posted over 100 videos that got
Yeah.
such low views.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
But
I know.
do you see it as a failure now? Like if you,
I do. Yeah, but I also know
but
that
you still
it's
will
like
repost, right?
because you just have to. Like you have no
Yeah.
choice, but also like there are factors that are out of our control in content creation, but in life in general. Like with content creation, it depends on the algorithm. It changes all the time. What's trending, socio-political issues affecting people's willingness to engage with content that's not socio-political. Like there's so many different factors that I have to just not take it personally and just continue to post what I want to post. But oh my gosh, like I've been feeling like such a failure because of TikTok. Like,
I can't even reach 10,000 views. I can't.
Yeah.
Which I know that sounds like a big number.
yeah,
But like
for a content creator, like
I can't
yeah,
reach that 10,000 view milestone right now.
Yeah, it's bad.
On a lot of videos.
it's bad. Like I used to, and I check my analytics,
Yeah.
and it's like the algorithm isn't pushing my content on the For You page. It's only showing it to my followers. That's why like my engagement's really really low. But I'm just like, oh my gosh, like what is the point in posting? What is the point
Yeah.
in continuing to do this if nobody's seeing what I'm doing? But this is where a good life lesson comes in.
Yeah.
A lot of like hard work is actually supposed to be like invisible, right? Like a lot of hard work is actually done quietly behind the scenes. And I think maybe that is what this time is for me. Like, you know, of course I'm putting it out there for people to see, but you know, it doesn't matter if they see it or not. My effort and like my willingness to make good content constantly is continuing to grow, so that eventually when the pieces fall into place and people are seeing my content, like I will be ready for that moment because
Yeah.
I will have kept creating, right?
Totally.
Yeah, so can't stop.
Yeah.
Can't give up. Although giving up is okay, as we discussed, but I don't want to give up. Yeah.
Yeah. And you shouldn't.
Yeah.
And we shouldn't. I guess like to wrap this up, if there was like one thing that you think you would consider a failure in like 10 years from now, if you didn't achieve it, what would it be?
10 years from now,
Yeah.
so I'll be like 40.
Yeah. If you're 40 and you didn't achieve this, you would feel like a failure.
I think you're right. I think not having a partner and like kids,
Yeah.
like not having a family, my
Yeah.
own family, I think I would probably look back and be like, what did I do wrong?
Yeah. But in your 5-year plan, is that a priority for you? Okay.
Yeah, because unlike you,
Yeah.
I'm a woman and like the biological clock is a thing, like a real thing.
Yeah.
So I am really concerned about that.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's that first and foremost. And I think also by the time I'm 40, if I'm not able to comfortably, you know, provide for my loved ones, I think I would consider myself a failure. Maybe that's too hard on myself, but that is like reality for me. How about you?
Honestly, it would be the relationship part.
Yeah.
I think, yeah. Because I think in terms of like financial stability, success, and by no means am I like shooting to the stars right now, but it's just not that important to me right now. Right now it's like freedom, learning, growing. Yeah. Honestly, failing.
Yeah.
Failing is like I actually threw this analogy out to my friends yesterday where I feel like because I was put under so much pressure as a kid that like I could like handle it. You know what I mean? So like I actually like it. Like I like to like feel like
Pressured.
a failure so then I could feel like I've grown or like I feel productive if I've like kind of done something. And that's just it's kind of sick. That like I don't know. I feel like
Some people thrive under pressure. Like that's just, it is what it is.
yeah, I don't
And
know.
Pretty soon, when
I'll
you start
crack
to
and
feel
drown and
no, when
yeah.
you start to feel that real pressure of like, okay, I really want to find somebody and settle down, it'll be so easy. So don't even worry about that.
I don't know. I hope so.
You're like,
But like kind of like I was saying before though, like I just feel like always doing something is being productive. But like we said before, sometimes there's so much growth and resting, and like taking a pause and a step back. So that I'm trying to like rewire my brain like that.
Yeah, I think you would benefit
Yeah,
from that.
for sure.
Yeah.
So this weekend I'm gonna take it off.
You're not gonna run?
No, I have to run
Oh
after
my
this
gosh,
podcast.
that's what I thought. That's what I thought. Well, anyways, people don't change overnight.
Henna hates me. That's a recurring theme.
Yeah, I know. That's what we learned is I win most of the arguments. But anyways, I think that was a really nice way to wrap up a season, our first season ever. And like we said, we will come back stronger, better,
More
faster.
fun.
Yeah, more fun. Just there's so much we can do, and your comments really do help us think about
Totally. Like navigate subjects and what you guys want to hear. Because at the end of the day, we're doing it for our community. Like obviously there's been so much value for us. Like we've grown so much independently from this.
Yeah.
But yeah, we just like love hearing from you guys and seeing how like we've resonated with you guys.
And one thing I'm really happy about this season is I feel like James's personality really like came out more throughout the episodes.
Yeah.
Especially some of our more like TV relaxed episodes. I feel, and I think that's great. I think people really like seeing that too. So we'll keep collaborating. Like in the time that we're off, like you'll probably still see us collaborating. But
For sure.
For Breaking Pup.
Yeah, we're friends now.
Yeah, we're friends now. We're friends now.
We weren't friends when we first started.
That's true. We were literally like it's like our second time meeting. Okay, cool. But we're friends now, and you will see more content from us. But thank you for everything these past couple months. And yeah, until we eat again.
Thank you guys.
Bye.